If you want to be honest, no, I don't think Adam Cole should stay with WWE. If I want to be completely honest. Why? Because I do believe that WWE is founded too much in big man, big strong man, that it kind of takes away from people that can just cleanly, goodly wrestle. That doesn't have to be just a big, good character in your face every 5 seconds. That they actually look good. They're actually very good talent. I do think that he's going to get squandered or misused once going to the main roster, because I believe that once they leave the safety of where they develop their character and people understand fully their character, when it goes somewhere where they're not fully understand, they're kind of misplaced a lot of times. And if they do, they somehow have to change their they can't be like Aleister Black, in my personal opinion, could have been a perfect addition to SmackDown. Perfect. Or even Raw, but SmackDown, perfect. Could have been the Intercontinental Champion even for a long period of time. But that's fine. Adam Cole, on the other hand, do I see him going to the main roster and winning a title? Yes. Do I see him winning the Universal? No. The WWE? No. He'll probably, if he does, he would have to have Undisputed. So they would make it more of he was a coward and more that he had to rely on them to win, to eventually, things like that. But to make him a solo star, they can't do that, because if they can't get past his height and his small stature, and you say, well, it's unbelievable for him to be better. I mean, he beat Seth, didn't he? And Daniel Bryan for the NXT Championship, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he's shorter than Seth Rollins, and I know he's not taller than Daniel Bryan, so you see my problem.
Last week, we found out some interesting news about Adam Cole. It was reported that he has not signed a long-term contract with the WWE, and what's more interesting is that his current extension is set to expire after NXT TakeOver 36, which takes place in a couple of weeks. Adam Cole is now in the best possible position for himself. He has a big decision to make, and Cole can decide to either stay with the WWE or he could leave them after 5 years and join All Elite Wrestling. Today, we're going to take a look at the pros and cons of each company, and then after that, I will explain my opinion on what I think would be the better
WWE's bigger. AEW, you get to not only be treated better, but you get to be able to actually be a legitimate star. You don't, for WWE, you get to be a star, yes, but the likelihood of you being misused and misrepresented will be very apparent. With AEW, you can possibly go wrestle for a different company when they need or don't need you.
choice for Adam Cole. I want to start off this video by taking a look at WWE, since Adam Cole is still technically signed with them. The current rumors suggest that Vince McMahon is a really big fan of Adam Cole. He's even informed the writing staff to come up with ideas and storylines for Adam Cole on the main roster. It makes a lot of sense that Vince McMahon likes him because he's got charisma, he can talk on the mic, and he's really good in that ring. The only problem that he probably has with Adam Cole is his size. Vince McMahon loves larger-than-life athletes. Cole is the complete opposite of that. Google says he's about 6 feet tall, but I highly doubt that. Adam Cole honestly looks like he's around 5'9" or 5'10", and he also weighs around 200 pounds. This is a bit concerning when you take a look at the fact that NXT just released a bunch of stars because they were reportedly too small, and the WWE is looking for bigger guys. However, in the past, we've seen Vince McMahon push smaller wrestlers like Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, and Eddie Guerrero.
But let's be real, in a better scheme of things, let's put it like this, in a better scheme. The wrestlers that you mentioned, just the two that you mentioned, let's take it into account, shall we? A talented wrestler that was released, let's not act like he wasn't released and brought back because of popular demand from, I think, John Cena or someone else at the time. And even then could have been fired again. but gave him time to bloom, and even then, still didn't really have a clear goal for him. They finally had a clear, long planned goal of him winning the title, possibly. And even then, some people still think that that's even questionable. He's no longer in the WWE because there's nothing left for him to accomplish in a real, honest sense. If he's not beating Roman, there's nothing else for him to accomplish. He's not beating Lashley, there's nothing else for him to accomplish. He's better off going to Ring of Honor or another company. I do believe if he does do Ring of Honor, it doesn't for the title. It's more for a few off matches, and pretty much that's it. But if he does win a title, I mean, that's dope too. But also there's one other problem with this. Eddie Guerrero grew muscle mass. He got bigger. He did. He wasn't small like Ray in comparison. He was taller than Ray and bigger than Ray. So, if you want us to be honest, using Eddie Guerrero isn't really the best example, but I'll try my best to go off of that. Okay. He killed it in WWE. Let's be real here. There's not really much to say. Eddie Guerrero killed it in WWE. He was the best that could ever say, I can jump high. Like my man was extremely too good. And I think that sadly, I think he has an error to him by himself in a technical sense, if you want me to be honest. I couldn't see him wrestling in today's stage because I don't think he would have been able to, because of, let's be real, he had to be part-time. He couldn't be a full-time. He would have to be. He couldn't be full-time for months on months right behind each other. He probably maybe a few months, 1, 2 at best, 3 if we're stretching it a bit. But I think his wrestling style would be perfect for a foundation to grow on, because you have to understand wrestling does improve as time goes on, wrestling does improve. It becomes from a just quality good match to spot fest at times. Spot fest that has good quality in it. A spot fest that's literally it. Matches increase as time go on because we get more and more talent to step in the ring. We get the everyday person to get in the ring and train their butts off to show off their own branch of style of wrestling to become a global star in their own right. So, if you want me to be honest, that's not a fair comparison, but hey.
Seems like he will overlook the size of a wrestler if he's really interested in them. And Adam Cole clearly falls under that, since he's actively trying to keep him with the WWE. I personally think that Adam Cole would do just fine if he were to join WWE. He won't be a top main event star. No, that's never going to happen. But he wouldn't be a undercard jobber or anything like that either. His career would most likely be very similar to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All three men even come from the same background. They're even similar in sizes when it comes to their height and body frame, so I don't think that it is a bad choice. Adam Cole would probably have maybe 1 or 2 world title reigns in his entire career and some interesting storylines. When you think about it like that and consider the fact that he would be working for the biggest wrestling company in the world, making the most money, it sounds like a pretty good deal, but the only con that I can really think of is the instability of the job. If Vince McMahon randomly gets bored of Adam Cole, then it seems like he won't have a problem releasing him. That is...
Actually, before then, I want to take a step back when you're talking about him becoming champion. I want to say this. I don't see him being a mid-card jobber. I don't see that. I just see him being able to level up with, let's be real, the United States or Intercontinental Championship. I think that he possibly will be even rivaling The Miz in only 1 title reign with either title. Why? Because I think Adam Cole can fight his butt off for a title. And in particular, if he ever wins an Intercontinental Champion, if he ever wins that title, the Intercontinental Championship, if he ever wins it, I would expect his storyline to make that title basically bigger than the Universal. I expect him to walk past Roman Reigns and show off his title, making his seem better because he believes it, because he believes he's the better champion, even though it's been a shorter time. But that's what I would believe. Can I see him winning the Universal Championship? I would love for him to do it, but it wouldn't be Roman. It probably would be whoever beats Roman. Like, I can see him beating Finn Balor and becoming Universal Champion for a good while and being one of the best in the current wrestling era. In the current year that we're living in, yes, I believe that he can be. Same with the WWE Championship. He's not beating the current champion, but maybe the next champion. Like, I wouldn't say if Drew wins. I would say, I don't know, who else? Tick, 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 tick. Can't really think of who. Oh well, I'll think about it later.
Something for him to think about that would most likely
Oh yeah, and Adam Cole being bored. Adam Cole. If Vince McMahon does get bored of him, I would suggest giving him time off first before firing him. I say give him time off because I think this does wonders for a lot of different things. This is coming from someone who only plays the video game that has no... That's pretty much it. I just play the video game. I don't think you understand how good it is when whoever is champion, whoever has had a very dominant, good reign like that, when they're finally beaten and you take them off the television screen for a good while and let whoever's reigning go against whoever they do. I will say that you have to say it from a different perspective also, because I am talking about a video game where I can put... Let's hypothetically put it, Bayley right now. Let's say Bayley was champion in my universe mode, and Bayley finally lost to Bianca Belair, okay? Bianca Belair is now champion, and Bayley's going to take some time off, okay? Okay. And then as Bianca Belair is champion, eventually, somebody else, she's able to face off against Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, maybe even a returning Trish Stratus, maybe even a returning Lita. You see, you can do things like that to make the title reign just a tad bit better. If it'd be a mix of, it depends also, because if you don't vibe well with that person being champion and you don't personally like it, you guess you could see it the same way as like Vince would see it and strip them of the title and make sure that they lose it to whoever you think would be a better champion at the time. Because let's be real, there are times where other wrestlers seem like they could be the best. They could look like they could hold the title for at least a good month or two that would look much better than whoever's currently champion. That's happened before to people that they probably should never lose to. But still, it happens.
add a ton of stress to his time in the WWE.
Overpacked with WWE stars to the point where he probably, yes, he would be able to go to pretty much any other company and have his share of good matches, but the reality is that he probably 9 out of 10 will be put in a situation with the Bullet Club, knowing them.
And now we need to talk about the alternative AEW. If Adam Cole does not sign another contract with WWE, the other company that he will join will definitely be AEW. And I think the best thing that comes out of this is knowing that all of his friends are booking the show right now, and he would get a greater push in that promotion. The Young Bucks are practically writing the show with Tony Khan, and the Young Bucks are also extremely close with Adam Cole. They are going to make sure that they take care of their best friend. If Adam Cole deeply cares about his position in whichever company, then AEW would definitely be the better fit. He would have more title reigns that are probably going to be more meaningful. Adam Cole will also be able to be himself rather than change his character for Vince McMahon and the writers in WWE. And Adam Cole with creative freedom could easily become the top star of AEW, and it's not even close. Other than all of those benefits, I think the greatest thing that comes out of this would be able to spend more time with his wife. Britt Baker is currently in AEW, and Adam Cole would only have to work 1 day a week, if not those pay-per-views.
I didn't know he was in a relationship. I guess I never really paid attention to a lot of wrestlers' Wrestling lives unless I just so happened to come past it when I followed them on Instagram. I guess that's mainly how I see it. So I didn't know he was married and nor in a relationship with Britt Baker of all people. I actually like Britt Baker. She's kind of cool people. But hey, if I mean that's another reason. I mean, for a couple reasons I would do that. Definitely for sure. But and I'm not gonna lie, AEW sounds more promising than WWE for lots of reasons. One of the biggest reasons I will say it is because of, like he just said, meaning not just title reign, because yes, a title reign is cool and all that, but I think the reason being I say title reign most times is because I'm speaking on how I would like for things to go. I would like for him to be in AEW probably more than WWE. The reason being is this. As cool as it would be to see Adam Cole face off against Roman, face off against Bobby, face off against whoever else, in promo battle to promo battle, and outweighing them, and possibly being how he should be, and not being a catchphrase, insert catchphrase here that has to be your character now. I do think that Adam Cole just being the guy that's just trying to right now just prove what he is, that he already knows what he is, it's a cool thing at the moment. And that may not be what he's doing, but that's what I'm calling it because that's what it feels like. He's saying he knows he's good. He doesn't have to prove it, but he's proving it to us. I do think that him going to AEW would be much better for one big reason. I think that it will be better long term than WWE. I do believe that he can be easily dropped and we would forget about him pretty much the next week or the next month. But in AEW, I do believe that the only way we would forget about him is if it was like one of those big moments where he was champion for a long time and somebody we really, really wanted to become champion beat him. I do believe the storylines will be much different. Let's be real. NXT, I believe, if NXT was its own little thing, then I wouldn't have this problem. But because NXT isn't its own little thing like that, I do believe that. I do believe that. How do I put it? I do believe that he. You going to Adam Cole sticking with WWE, going to the main roster because he's nothing left for NXT. There's nothing left for him in NXT. Him going to the main roster will not be fulfilling eventually. He would eventually run dry very quickly. They would have to extend certain things to put him in programs more than he would like to be in or more than he should be in, unless he carries a feud over from NXT. And even then, it has to be someone that he really don't step up against that many times. Like, I don't want to see him versus Kyle O'Reilly a fourth time. I don't care for a second, to be honest, if you want me to be honest, because I like Kyle O'Reilly winning and Adam Cole leaving to go to the main roster, if you want to be honest, because he has no reason to go after the NXT Championship because he's not beating Samoa Joe for it. And if he does, what else is he gonna do? He's leveled up the title as best as he could, and he did it the best way. He's one of the best champions to me personally outside of Finn. Like, I like Finn's reign, but I love pretty much all of Adam Cole's reign put together into one giant reign. And if it was, I still would love it because it was just that darn good. I like Tommaso Ciampa's reign also, but Adam Cole's to me is levels above all of them because he really uplifted that title in the best way possible. But AEW probably be the best course of action because meaningful title reign. And him with the title, I don't think the title will be too big for him, ever. I'm not saying that no title's too big for Adam Cole. I don't think that the Universal Championship is too big, but I am saying that eventually he'll run into that brick wall of what do I do now? I mean, he'll run into it in both companies, but I think in one company we can take a little break and then come back strong a few months later and continue your dominance compared to taking a long break, coming back, and possibly getting put in a different situation to keep you away from the title much longer because story.
And Rampage now, while also being able to spend all that time with Britt Baker. It only makes logistical sense if he wants a better work-life balance. The only drawback to signing with AEW is that the future is still unknown. I understand that TNT loves the show since it's been killing it, but the business is in the red right now while the WWE is about to make $1 billion in revenue. If Adam Cole joins AEW and he doesn't do well, he might burn that bridge with WWE.
Wait, what?
But then again, I highly doubt WWE is about to make $1 billion in revenue. If Adam Cole joins AEW and he doesn't do well, he might burn that bridge with WWE. But then again, I highly doubt that will happen in the next 3 or 5 years, but you never know. It's still something to think about.
He can go to other places, actually. That's the thing I'm trying to say. It's not just AEW. AEW seems to be kind of courteous to the wrestlers and let them go to New Japan, let them go to other companies and have a little bit of a stay. So that's what I'm saying, that he doesn't have to just strive in AEW. He can be signed to go home there, but being able to go to different houses also.
And now we have to answer the question, where should Adam Cole sign, WWE or AEW?
AEW.
If I was Adam Cole, AEW seems like the wiser decision. Although there is some risk associated with joining the younger brand, he would be treated far better and will have more time to spend with his wife. I also think it's really scary that WWE has been releasing everyone in their sights. When you see people like Bray Wyatt or Braun Strowman get fired, that shows that everyone but Roman Reigns can also get fired. This should be an easy decision. However, staying with the WWE would not be a bad idea anyways, because like I said, I think he would do fine. I just think that AEW would be the smarter decision that would make him happier. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it one more time. He would do much better in a company where he can go to other companies when he's not needed, compared to being put on a shelf or being left to basically go down a bad rabbit hole eventually, because eventually he's going to put in a stupid storyline that he's going to try his best, that he's going to be able to make gold out of, but sometimes he's going to have, that crap is going to come out, and it happens to the best of them, or even to the worst. But I guess